So as you look at these three cards here, you might be thinking that maybe this is a video about the darkest cards in the deck. But I'm delighted to share with you that whenever I do readings for myself for the next 3 to 6 months, these are the cards that always crop up. And I wanted to share with you how I deal with that. And the answer is there's been a few days when I've not dealt with it rather well. I am only human. And one of the dangers of reading for ourselves with tarot is we can get obsessed, absorbed by the darkest cards. And that can actually trigger a bit of a downward spiral. And this is one of the reasons why it can be useful to book in with a professional, because I can navigate this for someone else with far more ease than I can navigate it for myself. And I will never forget, I think it must have been last year when I ran a Zoom tarot workshop. And for some reason, it was predominantly clients that had come to me for readings and thought, oh, yeah, this could be fun. Let's give this a go. A couple of weeks in, I emailed them all to ask how are they finding it. And the word that came back was scary, because they were beginning to realise the difference of reading the cards with a mediator, that's me, to reading the cards in their glorious honesty. So whenever I read for myself for the next 3 to 6 months, these are the ones that crop up. The Nine of Swords tends to, although it's a very distressing and depressing picture, it does talk about overthinking. The Five of Pentacles usually refers to lack of energy, lack of money, lack of support. And the Tower often represents an unexpected change, but it does have this feeling of breaking free. I often think with the Tower, break down or break through. Yes, both. So logically, I can see the positive sides to each of these cards, even though when I get them, particularly if I get all three in a spread, my mind is taken to the blackness of each of the backgrounds. So I've had various times in my life where this has happened to me, where the cards are highlighting something difficult is coming. The biggest thing happened, I lose track of dates really. I'm thinking about 5 years ago now. It was in the January and the cards were really clear that come that October, there was going to be a difficult time. And I used the time to prepare. So this is the spread. This is how I use the cards when no matter how I read for myself for the future, the cards look glum. What I ask the cards is, what do I need to learn now to improve my future? Because I do not believe the future is fixed. Yes, there may well be some things that we cannot avoid, but we can always prepare for them. And by preparing for them, we may well experience them in a much more gentler manner or be better prepared. So that is the spread. And I wanted to share it. This is what I did for myself this morning. And it really helped me. In fact, I wrote my newsletter on the back of having done this spread. So I thought I would share it with you. So the first card that I got when I read for myself was the Moon. Now, I just love the difference in sizes. That just makes me smile to see the two together. Just taking a moment just to enjoy my cards there. The thing with the Moon is it's all about fear. Arthur Waite, who designed these cards, or authored the cards rather than painted them, he describes this crayfish as primal fears. And we all have them, don't we? Not having enough, being rejected. We're all going to have these core primal fears, both from our childhood and perhaps culturally. They're there. And this to me is a stirring of something primal. It doesn't necessarily mean that it's real, because the moon only reflects light. It does not shine. It reflects. And whenever anything is reflected, it's distorted. You're used to seeing yourself in the mirror because that's the only you see. What you see in the mirror is not what other people see. It's curious. One of the things about the moon that always catches my mind is the two towers and the tower. This is why my number one piece of advice for anybody reading the cards is to look at the images and look for the similarities between the cards. In this situation, the tower represents an illusion of security. The hard choice, the right choice, is to follow the path that we can clearly see in yellow there to the blue mountains, which in the Rider-Waite deck always mean highest potential. And not to be distracted by illusions of security that at some point we are going to have to break down and will be hard. So what this tells me is, number one, there's no point keep asking my cards, what is it that's going to hit me? Because I'm not meant to know right now, or the details aren't clear. And it's just not for knowing now. But it's probably something that I'm more fearful of than will actually be experienced as bad. Because that links with the Nine of Swords, which is overthinking. And it's interesting, we've got the tower and the tower. It feels, the honest truth is my divorce comes through next month. I'm pretty sure that my husband's going to be using that as an opportunity to pay less money. And I've got used to the maintenance money. I know it's all very well saying I deserve it, he's paying for his kids, but I have got used to it. So it's probably something to do with that. But this tells me not to be scared of it and to appreciate that it's probably something that is quite freeing. And if I could comfortably afford to not need his money, that would make my life much easier. It is a tie. So the next cards, I'm going to move these away now because they're not necessarily connected with these three cards directly, was the Four of Pentacles. Now, just to be really awkward, I'm going to put those two together as it happens. The Four of Pentacles, I know people think this is about being a miser, but it's a lot more than that, okay? It is about personal power and personal strength. This chap has a crown on his head. Go through your Rider-Waite cards. There are not that many crowns there in the deck at all. The crown is a symbol of authority. And I think when we work with the tarot cards, we are integrating archetypes into ourselves. So this is a symbol of personal authority, personal power. The open crown, rather than a closed crown, is talking about connection to source through the crown chakra. So this is somebody who is connecting to their wiser self or the divine and is focusing on personal power and personal authority. He's connecting to his emotions, and two pentacles on the feet, he's prepared to put the work in. So my question for the small cards was, what do I need to learn or implement now to make my future easier? Because I can tell you, if every time you read, you're getting these big, dark, ugly, horrible cards, stop reading for the future. Start focusing on the now. So this is reminding me to take back my personal power. That's fine. I can do that. And the third card is the Nine of Pentacles. Now, I often think of the Nine of Pentacles is about being organised. And actually, I've done a lot of that. I've done a lot of decluttering and organising around the house. Now I need to apply that to my business. And I often think about the Nine of Pentacles. It's about being organised. It's about being self-disciplined. It is about utilising money well. The self-discipline for me comes from the hooded hawk bird here, because to train a bird, we have to be incredibly self-disciplined ourselves. And it's true. because I'm getting money from my husband, because I've had some government support for rent and children as well, every penny doesn't matter as much as it did. There was a period of time when I didn't have that support. And I think that's what these two cards are about, is whatever's happening in the future, using my money better will improve my future. There's been several occasions where I've invoiced people for services I've done and not noticed that the invoice hasn't been paid. Now, this is an oversight. It's gone through to their spam email and I've been able to rectify it. But it was a wake-up call that I wasn't prioritising the profitable running of my business. And of course, I always look at the card at the bottom of the pack. I think this is my real problem, really, the Ten of Swords. The Ten of Swords is when stress and overwhelm begins to cause physical problems. And it's been a tough 5 years and I feel exhausted. But when I'm only human, when I see these cards, I start to overwork and I tend to work hard instead of working smart. This is the card that tells me relaxing more, taking the time to look after my mental health, remembering that some things are just not meant to be known, reclaiming my personal sovereignty, and getting organised will help these cards if and when they come. So I'm going to redo the reading because I quite like doing live readings, but this will be quite quickly. So if you are reading for yourself, maybe your mental health is a bit low right now, maybe you are fed up like I am of seeing the same old cards coming out, and you want to use the cards to support your future, not just remind you you've got tough times ahead. You ask the cards, what can I do now? Now put a time frame in that. What can I do today? I'm going to do this week or next week. Actually, it's Sunday today. So I am going to do what can I do next week? How do I best use next week to give me the best future possible? 3 cards at the bottom of the pack. The world. The world is endings and new beginnings. I think this is probably about getting some more personal closure on my past marriage. It takes time to let go of a marriage, and the divorce coming through is quite important. So I think that is about maybe doing some personal clearing on my emotions. A repeat card. Always pay attention to repeat cards if you are reading for yourself or the same person. Reclaiming my personal power. That's really powerful. And the Ten of Cups. Now, the good news is, if anybody is local to East Sussex, I am at Pippin's Wood, England's medieval festival, for the bank holiday. My children, still a little bit bamboozled by this, are running a stall selling my stuff. I don't want to run a stall at England's medieval festival. I want to relax, drink mead and listen to the music. But they are going to be selling my tarot card, my rune cards, my rune book, my tarot book, and various other some manifesting rune journals I've created. These sorts of things will be on my website, but at the moment we need to take the stock with us to the festival. I'm really looking forward to spending time with my family. I'm really drawn to these two. The last 5 years have been about survival. They have been about running my business and supporting my family well. With my youngest 15 and my eldest 20, there's a feeling of the job's done. I mean, the job's never fully done, is it? But I think the Ten of Cups can be dreams and wishes because the rainbow here in the cups. I think it's time to write my manifesting rune journals a new dream. Card at the bottom of the pack, always worth looking at. The High Priestess. Now, in this situation, I think the High Priestess is about spending time alone. That's not something I get that much of an opportunity to do. I'm either working, or I'm working with clients, or I'm prioritizing family time. And I think it is time. And what you'll find if you're reading cards for yourself, you'll begin to notice, God, yeah, I was thinking about that. I found Health Club that I can buy passes for rather than signing up. And I've been thinking, I'm going to try and go there once a week all by myself just to enjoy being there. So it's been a bit of a rambling video because I was trying to express how I'm reading the cards. But if you are struggling with the dark cards right now, or if your mental health isn't in the best right now, I hope this video will help you.